Good morning, everybody. I am doing some harvesting today and just general cleanup. So I thought I'd bring you along. Not sure why my camera wants to face into the sky, but let me show you some of what I'm harvesting today. Right there. And we had some of them for dinner. There's another one back there. We had some of them for dinner yesterday. And as you can see, this plant is starting to become really productive. If I can get the leaves out of the way. I'm not sure if that one's dying, but you see there's more of them. There's another one. There's another one back there. Up there, there's another one. They are all over. And we have about 4 of these plants that are suddenly really producing. I have 2 more that are ready to go in a plant further up that I'll show you here in a little bit. And then we have this late blooming spaghetti squash. And as you can see, there's 2 of them there. Oh, the previous one, yeah, this one. Those are zucchinis, what people in Europe call courgettes. And then we have these beauties over here that are really getting chewed on by the grasshoppers. I don't know why they're chewing on this. I've never seen that before. But anyway, this is the, I want to say it's a butternut, but I'm sure I'm wrong. Yep, that is the honey nut squash. Let's put that back in place. And as you can see, that plant is suddenly really productive. There's another one. We have another one going right over there. That one died. But it's suddenly really productive. And I need to string that one right there. We'll do that later. And then we have our bins going over here. I have another honey nut right there. Just suddenly wanting to climb, which I'm fine with. And I believe that's also another honey nut. You can see the beans. And there are my nemesis. Creepy and crawly. Alright, then we have this spaghetti squash. That was an early bloomer. It's really big. And I got the seeds from my friend Amanda. Hi, Amanda. And then we have some more beans. I have the beans sprinkled throughout the garden. And again, yeah, this guy is here to eat that flower. Shush, shush. Phew. Come over. I know that doesn't help. All right. Oh, you can see them. They are like everywhere. That one trying to hide over there. And then we have my chocolate cherry tomatoes. And I need to come in and put my little organza bags so those don't get eaten off. And as you can see, already started using the organza bags. Oh, all right, let's talk about this one. This is a honeydew melon that I planted sometime in June, and it's just now deciding that it's ready to start growing and climbing. And we're now in August. I believe today is the 21st of August. Happy birthday, Gabby. And so I'm not sure that that plant is going to make it. And I believe some of it is because the grasshoppers have really been chewing on the plants. And then when we've had weird weather, one day really hot, one day cold, and then it rains and pours for a day or two. All right, I have another sweet potato going there. And I planted this one from the main plant. When it broke off, I decided I'm just going to stick it in there and see what it does. And then we have, I'm guessing that's either going to be a melon or a squash. And I don't remember planting that. So it could be just one of those seeds that you drop by mistake. And it finally decided to grow. And then we still have my walking onions. And I've been using them by just cutting the green leaves and letting them regrow. So those have been my onions this season. And then back there, we have another one of those courgettes or green squash. And I have had several squash from this plant. And actually picked 2 of them from here yesterday. And then we have my trusty Auntie Molly cherries, which are everywhere. And another thing I'm enjoying a lot about these cherries is whether they produce or not, at least I'm using them as cover for anything else that I'm growing. And you can see we have several little seedlings coming up. And I'm not really sure what that is. And my guess, it is all this cilantro that has gone to seed. I need to come out here with my little organza bag and pick all this seed. I haven't done it because we've had a lot of rain the last few days. But it's time to pick that. And then we have my Lolita squash. And as you can see, that one's huge. Put my hand over it just so you can see the size. Oh, we have a bird. Oh, gone. So you see the size, that thing is huge. And oh, that might be ready to go. All right. Well, I'll probably pick that in a day or 2 here. And as you can see, that has climbed all the way to the top. We have another one right there. And I think this one over here, I think that one is dying. And oh, I need to come out here and add in the evening so you can see what my garden is looking like at night with all the little lights that I've put around the place. And I actually think I have a video, so I'll just insert it somewhere in here just so you see what the garden looks like at night. That's my walking onions. I need to start cutting those and putting them in the ground since they got stuck in that trellis. Let's see. All right. I was hoping that this would have been bigger by now. This is my Delice, and I believe we planted this in, I want to say May. Let's see, I have a sticker somewhere in there. Anyway, so they're just now beginning to start climbing, and they haven't produced anything yet. So I don't know if this is going to be another one of those that I don't get anything out of, but it's definitely happily climbing now. But it's a little cooler, so hopefully it'll have enough time. And there's 2 of them, so we'll see. And I may have caused a problem by crowding it. And then we have some more beans over here. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of beans this year, and I'm mostly planting navy beans, pinto beans, and kalima. And I can't remember the name of the other one. If I remember it, I'll put it up somewhere in the description. And then over here, we have the honey nut. And the honey nuts are doing quite well, as you can see. I need to get a little pedestal for that, so it stops pulling too much on the plant. And I've just been putting it on that little lid and sitting it right there, but it's obviously getting too heavy for that, and I don't want it to break the rest of that plant, so I need to come up with a solution for that. And we have another one hiding right there, yet another honey nut. And then we have some more of the pear tomatoes. And that honey nut is blooming. And as you can see, I'm finally getting little cherry tomatoes. I don't think you can see them in the little bags. There we go, maybe you can see this one. Nope. Right there. So I should be able to take that out of the bag really soon. And there's one that I didn't get to in time, and somehow it survived, and you can see the little tomato right there. So yeah, those are doing better, and I'm just trellising them up this arch as well. Have some more beans, and I believe those are pintos. All right, I'm really enjoying the color of this. I keep forgetting its name. We just talked about it. Yeah, the honey nut. I'm really enjoying the color. And I know by the time they're done growing, they're going to be yellow. But that green is really pretty. And then over here, we have, what's that? That's a Black Krim right there. We have the black kale. We've eaten quite a lot of that kale, and it just keeps producing. Even if the grasshoppers are really decimating it. But it's growing fast enough that there's enough for us to get something out of it. Then we have this bed right here that I need to clean up today. So the thing I need to do in here first is I need to get all those beans, and there's a lot of them, all the way to the bottom, and especially the bottom is heavy with them. I think I got most of the ones that were on that trellis over there. Alright. It's time to get rid of those flowers, or at least trim them. Those are my Lori flowers. I need to do a lot of cleaning and trimming in here. We still have the Swiss chard going strong. And I have a cabbage somewhere back there. Lots of Swiss chard. We are really enjoying the Swiss chard. As you can see, we have the yellow, the white, and what they are calling the fork wood way in the back over there. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, and you really need to clean it up right there. There's all those bean leaves on it. Then we have another squash over here, and that's the yellow zucchini. You can see a little one in the back over there. You can barely see it back there. And then we have this Black Krim that I put in here, and it is finally producing. See right there, there's more tomatoes in the back. Now I should have quite a few tomatoes here shortly from the Black Krim plant. And somewhere in the back I also have the anti-molly cherries. And then we have my trusty Egyptian walking onions, and we have several of them throughout the garden. I don't know if you can see that right there. And I've just sprinkled them through. And we have a volunteer tomato back there. I don't know if that's going to make it right there. And we have some more beans coming up. And those beans are going to replace all the ones that I'm harvesting today. All right. So I'll take you to the other raised bed, and if we have time, we'll go into the greenhouse. So I'll see you right back here shortly. So these raised bed covers have really proved to be a godsend, because without them, a lot of this stuff that I'm growing would have been decimated by these grasshoppers. And as you can see, they just sit there and wait for me to open up the cover so they can get in. Oh, I'm almost afraid to open it. Let me show you what we have here. So we have the anti-molly cherries. I probably really need to trim things in here as well today. As you can see, it's full. And you can see all the cherries. And I'm going to be making jam with these cherries. And then we have our zucchini in here, which I'm realizing, because this is covered, the bees are not able to come in and fertilize the zucchini. So I need to start doing it by hand each day. See, that one over there is dying. It didn't get fertilized. That one didn't get fertilized. So we have new ones coming up. And I need to keep checking, so when the flowers open, I can hand fertilize them. As you can see, we had a green one starting back there. Right there. There's one back there, and it did not get fertilized. And I also need to prop this up so it doesn't fall on this other one. Oh yeah, there's lots of them in here that did not get fertilized. I need to pay more attention. You can barely see anything in here. So I'm going to clean this up, and then I'll come back and show you where we are at. If you look in here, you can see my sweet potato plant just about taken over at the bottom, which is fine. It's keeping it cool in here. So let me see if I can prop that up and do some cleaning and then come back and we'll continue. Alright, so things are still not very clear in here, but what I have done is I get one of the male flowers and I just put it in each of these baby squash. And I go around and do that to any of the open flowers, and that's how I hand pollinate them. That green zucchini right there, that flower will probably open up by this afternoon. So I am going to use that male flower right there to hand pollinate it. It's too late for me to do anything with this one here, but it appears to be fine. And I have propped up this zucchini on that pole without breaking it. And maybe I'll try pushing it up again a little bit later. And I have also propped this one up over here. Oh, I need to prop this one up. No, that one seems to be okay. Alright, I'm going to leave that one alone. And then I have my red crimson tomato, which has little tomatoes on it. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can zoom in. So we have little tomatoes, which you can barely see because everything is so crowded in here. So I definitely need to spend some time doing some trimming. And there's more of them right there. There's a little tomato. And we have more of them back there, which I'm not even going to try and show. I cannot reach there. Need to do some cleaning in here. We have the ginger, and that's doing really well. I need to trim that. And then we have another red crimson. We have the Thai basil, which I need to pick. And then we have the sweet potato, and I'll show you that later once I'm done cleaning. That looks a little better. Now we can see what is going on back there. And it doesn't look any much better, but I'll show you everything I've trimmed, good and all that. So that is much, much better. It's more open in there, I can reach. And I actually have a few of these cherries that are ready to pick. I have some more way in the back in there that fell off while I was cleaning up. And I'm happy to see that we have a bee. Don't know if you can see that. It's right in there. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up so I don't get any more grasshoppers in here. I think I managed to scare most of them out. Well, see you at the greenhouse. That's what the arch is looking like during the day. And I'll insert a picture of it during the night with the lights on. And we have a rose that is coming up. And as you can see, the grasshoppers have already been chewing on it. Yeah, they're getting ridiculous. There's another one blooming. And as you can see, it is climbing. So that's really nice to see. And there's the lights. And let's look at the second rose. And Let me show you the name. It's an Rose, and this variety is the Tangerine Skies. And they are really, really pretty once they climb the arch. Not that they're not pretty now. That makes me happy, even with it being chewed on. So let's go into the greenhouse, and I'm going to move the fertilizer out of the way. I can show you what I use. That's the Neptune's Harvest fish and seaweed, and I use that throughout the garden. Works quite well. So let's go inside. And as you can see, I need to do some trimming in here as well. And we're going to start on this end over here. I'm debating on whether I should just get rid of this to... These are Romanescos, and they just seem to be getting taller and taller and taller, but they're not forming the actual Romanesco. So I don't know, I'll give them another few weeks and see what happens. We have celery, and the celery is doing really well. I should probably trim it a little and make some celery salt here in the next day or two. And if I do that, I'll bring you along in a video. And then these my tomatoes, and right off the get-go we have a Black Krim. And back there my San Mazzanos are just now starting to produce. I didn't put a cover on that. Okay, so this is what is happening with these grasshoppers. They just come in and eat the little leaves around the flower, and it just kills the little buds. So I never get a tomato. But now I should be harvesting tomatoes, and I really have not been able to because that's what is happening. Really frustrating. But the Black Karims, I think I'll do a lot of Black Karims next year because they seem to be really resilient. As you can see, I showed you the ones out on the raised bed, and in here they seem to be the only ones that are doing well. Everything else just keeps getting eaten by the grasshoppers. It's becoming really frustrating. I was hoping this was going to be one of my best years, but nope, not this year. And then another thing I did, I wasn't sure if I was stressing the tomato by growing them horizontally because the space I'm using is too tight. So if I can change my angle over here, what I've decided to do is tie the strings lengthwise and do the horizontal tomato plants. That way they have a longer way to go before I have to turn them onto the next string. And that seems to be helping as well. As you can see, I did this like 3-4 days ago, and you can see that already has lots of flowers. And I need to put my little organza bags to protect those flowers. Let's see if we can do this one-handed on one of them so you can see what I do. So I just take the little bag I don't know, don't want to injure the flowers, so I do that, and then I pull the strings on both sides. You can see the string on the other end, so I just pull the strings on both sides, and that protects the flower. And I need to do the same thing with that. And as you can see, in some of them I use the green one, that's the bigger one, and in others I use the little pink ones. And as it grows, then I come in and change to a bigger bag. There's another example of flowers that have been chewed on by the grasshoppers. It's really, really frustrating. Anywho, next we have another celery right there. And I have my chives throughout the garden. And I pick those as I need garlic in my recipes. Especially if I just need a really mild taste. And there you can see some more of the Swiss chard. And we have my volunteers. And so this is another one that I'm going to keep the seed for. And I think I told you this volunteers turned out to be the pineapple tomato, not a Black Krim. And you can see a tomato back there. So this one seems to be resilient as well, especially when the grasshoppers are not chewing on it. There's another tomato. We have another one right there. And we have lots of little flowers. But again, I need to come in here and put in the little bags. And then I have another thing going on, and I'm not sure what is going on. Randomly, I get a plant that does that. And it's fine one morning, and I come back in the afternoon, and that's what it looks like. And it's just dead. And it's happening to the tomatoes, the peppers, just about every plant, randomly like that. So I thought maybe something was chewing on them, or I don't know, they just seem to either rot. Because when I pull them, I don't see anything wrong, other than it just decided to die. Then it starts rotting like that. And as an example, you can see, there was a habanero right there. And it just did the same thing, it just died for no good reason. Well, I'm sure it has a good reason, I just don't know what the reason is. So, I don't know. And it had just started producing flowers. Alright, so this one should be ready for me to string here in a few days. And then we have the chocolate pear. And these ones are doing quite well. One doesn't have any fruits yet. Oh, it has a few fruits in the back, but here's one that's closer that you can actually see. There we go. So, yeah, as soon as I started protecting them, they've started producing. So, I'm going to have a late harvest, and I don't have too much time. Winter is almost here. But I'm glad that I figured out that I could put the little organza bags to protect them. So going forward, I'm going to do that every year with my flowering plants, whether we have grasshoppers or not. And I also found a solution for the grasshoppers, but I'll not be able to implement it this year because apparently Colorado this year had lots of grasshoppers, and by the time I found the solution, so the solution is a praying mantis. And you buy them in the little tubs like you buy the ladybirds, and they were sold out because so many people were trying to get them. So at the beginning of next year, I'm going to get quite a few of those and release them inside the greenhouse and just on the property in general, so they can eat the eggs for the grasshoppers before they become prolific again. So over here, this has finally managed to start growing, and that's another pineapple tomato. And as you can see, the little flower did not even get a chance. The little stem for the flower just got chewed off before it even got a chance to try anything. And as for the green beans, those plants are definitely just about done. I have a few more green beans that I can still harvest, but that's done. So I'll do my final harvest this evening. And I do have some more green beans out on the raised bed. I don't think I showed you that. And we have another Swiss chard right there. We have one of those volunteer tomatoes that I had started trellising over there, and as you can see, we finally know what this is. It has some fruits. There's another one right there. And this is the Valencia that volunteered again this year. And I need to come and clean this up. You have some more San Mazzanos right there. It's time to take off that bag so that fruit can start producing. There's some more I need to put in the bag. And back there, you have my poblano. And it has done a good job of producing. I've been picking poblanos out of it. And it finally looks like it's slowed down. Then over here, ooh, that plant at the door, that right there. I keep calling that a Black Krim. That is the Paul Robeson. I'll show you the Black Krim here shortly. This is another Paul Robeson right there. And back there, we have a San Mazzano, which also got picked off by the grasshoppers. And I'm finally getting some more flowers. I need to spend some time out here today just putting the little organza bags on all these new flowers that I am seeing, just to protect everything, and I can at least get a harvest. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, very annoying. Okay. So we have some more fruit over there. Right there. That's from the volunteer again. So that's going to be the yellow pineapple. And then we have the pepper plant over here. And I believe this is my other habanero. I could be wrong. Yes, that's my habanero. And I'm growing the habaneros for my sister, Mary. So she'll be happy to know that I still have a habanero that is surviving. And it has a few flowers on it. I guess I just dropped that flower. But that's it for now. Bye, Teenies.